They're followers. Do you want to say hi?
No.
Oh, okay.
Who is it?
It's people that follow Mommy on YouTube.
Yes, I want to say hi.
You do? Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Hannah. Thanks for watching. Okay, today I am going to be talking about a sample knit that I just completed. It is the cutest sample knit I've ever done. But first I'm going to share kind of what a sample knit is, and then I'll talk about the animals and what I made for them. And last, I'll talk about if I recommend this book, like to a friend or something. So if we haven't met, I'm Hannah. I'm a mom and a knitter in North Carolina in the United States. And I do sample knitting, a little bit of design for kids, and a lot of YouTube and Instagram content, mostly YouTube and Instagram. Those are my two main places. Okay, so what is a sample knit? Sorry if you can hear my son. He is playing in the basement with his dad. So what is a sample knit? First, a sample knit can be for a designer or a yarn shop or a yarn dyer. So I have done for designers and for yarn shops. And what happens in general, like for what I have done, is the place will send you yarn, whether that's the designer or the dyer or the shop. And they'll send you the yarn and you make the pattern or whatever that they wanted you to make, and then you mail it back to them and they get to display it or wear it or whatever they want to do with it. And it's generally paid by yard. Some yarn shops may pay you in yarn, but I generally take being paid by yard. I have been very fortunate to work with wonderful people and have just amazing experiences with generous designers and yarn shop owners, and so all positive from my end. I get a lot of questions about where do I find like sample knitting calls. A lot of times I see them on Instagram. That is where I see them, and they'll just be in Instagram stories. Sometimes people will say that they want sample knitters just to knit for the, you know, honor of knitting with their yarn and then mail it back, and that is something I will not cover here. But if you are considering sample knitting, I would say don't do that. Please don't do that. Please get paid for your time. Please value your own time and your own skills that you have, because it's not an easy job and you deserve to be paid for that. Okay, I said I wasn't going to talk about it here, but you can always DM me or leave me a comment about it because I have lots of thoughts on that. Okay, so the second thing is I was going to share what animals I made, and I'll talk a little bit about them. So this is the book. If you haven't heard me talk about it, I'm sure you have, unless you're new here, but it is Mouche and Friends by Laine magazine. The designer is Cynthia Ballet, and I made Mouche and Aggie and Alphonse. And so my favorite part is that they have like little descriptors of them. So this is like Mouche's page. She has a whole description. I'm gonna read a little bit from it. When the time comes for Mouche to take up his winter quarters, he's always very pleased. Unlike his dear friend Forrest, who likes to feel the snowflakes landing on his fur, Mouche firmly believes that the perfect way to welcome the first snow is from the comfort of his cozy bed. I could not agree more, although it doesn't really snow here. So this is him that I made. He is so cute. Front and back, he has a little tail, and his overalls have a little tail pull for him. So most of the yarn from the sample knit was Knitting for Olive. So all of the animals were made out of Knitting for Olive. This is Knitting for Olive Merino. And then the clothes were made from, like, I'm assuming sock yarn scraps or something like that. I don't know, but some kind of indie dyed yarn. So I made his body out of the Knitting for Olive, this out of the indie dyed yarn. These are his overalls. Yeah, very cute. He also has like a few different outfits, but this was just the one that I was gonna make for them. Overall, he is the biggest of the animals. I don't know why. So compared to the sheep, he's a lot bigger. Maybe because he's the main character, it's his book. I don't really know. Also, he's a bear, so maybe that's why. I used safety eyes that they sent for the eyes and embroidery on the nose. He has these tiny little buttons yeah, overall, very cute. This is the first one I made. His overalls fit well. I want them for myself. But attention to detail, again, is just crazy. Like, he has little feet, like, I don't know, little hooves, and you can see the shaping here makes his little bottom just so cute and so, I don't know, lifelike, I guess? I'm not sure. The clothes kind of cover all the details, but there is a lot. And then the second one I made was Aggie. She is also adorable. This is her in the book. A little bit about her, I'm just gonna read a tiny bit, but Aggie lives on a tiny island. Actually, it's only a part-time island, and this is why she loves it so much. She thinks it's like a magical creature with a superpower. Once a day at low tide, it unfolds into a wild, quiet, and huge land where Aggie can walk for hours. She scrutinizes the sand in the little pools in search of treasures shaped by the sea. Then the swell of the ocean is back, and her land folds up again into a tiny island. Very sweet. In the book, she has a little bag. I did not make the bag, that just wasn't on the list, but very cute. Love the idea of her being like a, I don't know, seashell hunter in her life. Very cute. So this is her that I made. I made her dress, and then her loopy vest. So I'll take this off so you can see her dress better. It has this little crossback detail, which is very cute. And then these little stripes on here. This is really where I got the idea for my Tulsa tee, because I loved the pink and gold together. This is what like her body looks like. She has the little legs. She doesn't have a tail. And then her sweet little dress. Just adorable. Absolutely adorable. Like, look at the detail on her head. Just crazy. The detail that is in this book. And then the loopy vest is probably my favorite piece. Maybe her dress, but not my favorite to make, but definitely my favorite like finished, I think. So very cute. And the loopy stitch did take me a while to learn. I think I said it was taking me like 30 minutes to do one row. But I got the hang of it, and it went a lot faster afterwards. And I just love it. I just want one for myself. It's like a little, almost like a bath mat, but like very stylish version. So it fits on her. And I love dressing them too. It's just all very, very cute. Okay, so that's what that looks like on her. She looks like she's ready for a nice, like fancy walk on the beach. The last one I made is the pig, Alphonse. Alphonse is not joking about the way you're supposed to stir the soup. How many times? Quickly or slowly? Clockwise or not? Lately, he's been thinking a lot about the knowledge he'd like to gather in his debut book titled The Good Soup, and his brain is simmering as much as the content of his pots. And so he's styled with restaurant things, and there's a lot more about his restaurant that he wants to open up, and having big dreams and all of that, which is very sweet. So this is him, and he has a little curly tail right here. Very sweet. So I made Alphonse, and I made his cable jumper, which is like very cute. When I was making it, I was like, yes, I do want this for myself. He has little split hooves, which again, like the detail is it's just crazy. And then he has these sweet little pants, and this was actually my first time doing slip stitch color work. It was super cool, and they're like very sturdy, so it's good to know if I ever wanted to do a sweater in that style that it's like very thick. But he will be warm. He might overheat in his kitchen, but he knows himself. So anyway, yes, very sweet to see them on them. It's also so fun to see the different, like how they change with the different colors. So on the book, he's wearing like orange and pink, and he's pink. And then here he's wearing this lovely green and blue. And I just love seeing, I don't know, like this is a different person, a different pig. This is a different pig. It's shop, it's the shop's pig. So very sweet to see them become themselves, especially after putting the eyes on. And the mouths and the clothes, all of that, they really came to life. And stuffing them. I really felt like I was working at Build-A-Bear. Like I was using a little, well, I was using a, like, you know, like a glow stick. A friend brought my son some glow sticks the other day. So I was using a glow stick because it was small enough. I didn't have a small enough crochet hook to like get in the arms and stuff. And so I was like, it really felt like I was a Build-A-Bear worker. It took me back. And I love it. Okay, so the last question that I have gotten and that I want to share is, would I recommend this book to a friend? Short answer, yes, definitely. I would recommend this book to a friend. It's on the more expensive side, but after spending some time with it, I can see why. It has 12 animal patterns. So you saw the detail that went in those animals. They're over here on a chair. And then you think times 12, and then clothes for all of them. I didn't even make all of their clothes, so if they each have like 2 or 3 pieces of clothing, that's a lot of patterns. So when I think like $30 US for this book, and then I think how much the author is getting paid, or, you know, whatever, I think that that's definitely like, I don't feel like it's overpriced for what you're getting in this like gorgeous book. Now, do I think like you should get this book and then knit it straight through and make all the animals? Absolutely no. I would get it and make like maybe one a year to use up yarn in your yarn pantry that you just have extra. They use like no yarn. Like I think the pants for the piggy, his pants were like 12 grams of yarn. So like most people have that in their yarn pantry. So I definitely, like, look at Tino's little bag. I would definitely buy this book, recommend this book to a friend. I'm sending it back with the package, so I don't get to keep it. But yeah, it's adorable, and the animals are just like, these are like heirloom quality little animals. There's so many lessons for, you know, learning new skills, things like that. I learned a lot of new skills. Like there's so many clothes I didn't make that I would love to make for these little guys. So yeah, highly recommend. It's just a lovely book. If you have a child that's interested, you know, in having a lovey like this, or you're just interested in having these adorable animals sit on your shelf, if you need a gift, they do take a lot of time and a lot of like in focus. I think that was hard for me, was maintaining the focus, because a lot of times knitting is like, for me, throw it in the bag, throw it in the car. I'm sorry, you can definitely hear my son. But this was like, sit, very focused, don't break my US size 0 needles, things like that. But I still recommend it. They were very fun to make, and seeing their little clothes come to life, all of that, highly recommend. Wow, you could even make a little blanket. Yeah, so I think this is perfect. I can imagine all sorts of scenarios for these little animals, like, you know, going to like an 8-year-old little girl who has like a little blanket and a bed set out, or, you know, keeping someone company in their later years when they can't have a visitor, you know, at their retirement home or something, and they have these little animals sitting on the shelf. I just like, yeah, I'm excited to see like if you guys make them, or where these are going, how they're gonna live in their final home. So anyway, I definitely recommend. Thank you for watching my little short special episode on this little book, and I hope you have a lovely weekend.